Hello everyone, welcome back to another great episode of Raihana's Cuisines. Today we're going to be making crunchy bars or honeycomb candy. This is what it looks like, and you can tell that I've been experimenting with this candy and perfected it before I wanted to make the video. You can see that inside it has all these bubbles, and when you eat it, it just kind of melts in your mouth. It's so good. It's so good. Now I know in England and Canada you can get these crunchy bars, and I wish I had the candy bar to show you, but I don't have any of them here. They're available on Amazon though. So if you don't get them in the US and you want to make this candy, now you know how to make this candy. Okay, so simple ingredients. I'm going to turn my stove on, and as I'm putting it in, I'm going to show you what I am putting in. So for this candy, I'm going to be putting in 2 cups of white sugar and half a cup of brown sugar. So I'm going to go ahead, put it into my bowl, and then we're going to add 1/3 cup of water in here. We're also going to be adding some corn syrup, and we're going to add 2/3 cup of corn syrup. Now we'll be adding 2 tablespoons of vanilla in here, but I'm gonna wait and I'm gonna add this at a later stage. So we're just gonna melt this, and we're going to be needing a thermometer, a candy thermometer, to do this. Now I've done a toffee video where I show how to test the sugar or test the mixture when it's ready for our hard crack or soft crack stage, and so you might want to watch that video. With this one, I just want to do a straightforward because I do have a thermometer, but if you don't and you want to use that method, just quickly go over to that video. I'll put a little link here so for you guys can easier to go for you to go and watch how I test for the sugar. So I'm not going to put this in right now because I might have a little bit of sugar crystals forming on the side of my pot. And so if that happens, then I'm just going to cover it and let the condensation help with the crystallization. Okay. The other thing I also want to point out, while this is getting cooked, I'm just going to put that on medium low, and I want this to cook very slowly. You also need a good heat resistant spatula, or you could use a wooden spoon. I think cleanup is so much easier if you get something like this. Also, the wooden spoon, you'll find that the caramel sticks to it. This way, at least the caramel does not stick to it. I'm just gonna wipe that down. All right, so I'm just gonna mix this. I'm going to let the mixture come to a steady boil until it reaches 285 degrees. Now, most of the recipes out there is going to tell you to wait and reach at 300 degrees. If you do that, you are going to burn the candy, because that's what I did. When I made this candy, I took the thermometer up to 300 degrees, and it's a wonderful candy, but you can taste the bitterness of it. So that is why you don't want to take it up to 300 degrees. 280 to 285 is the max you want to go for. This, I don't feel like throwing away, so I'm going to crush this. I'm going to come up with another recipe, maybe something to do with ice cream. I don't know. You guys will have to wait and see. So the other thing we're going to also do is we're going to add 2 tablespoons of baking soda to this. This is going to be when our temperature reaches that 285. Now, also another pointer is that I have this in my little what do you call it, a sieve. And the reason why I have it in here, it's because this step is really, really important. If you're just going to use your baking powder right from the can, and you're going to have all these hard pieces of baking soda in there, it's going to show up in your candy, and then when somebody does eat it, they will taste that baking soda, and I'm telling you, baking soda does not taste very good. So you just want to really make sure that you sieve it, and then keep that on the side, and then we're going to wait until we reach up to the 285. Now you can see here that we've got some bubbles going on, and it's gonna start bubbling up even more, because and you want to go, your heat should be between medium, more towards the medium low. Let it cook slowly. Don't go too fast on it, because this is gonna burn very, very quickly. So we're gonna let this steady boil. I'll come just before we hit 280 degrees, and I'll show you what the steps we're gonna do. The other thing also is that I am melting some chocolate that I want to put on top, and I kind of have this idea, and hopefully it works. So we'll see if that works. So I'm melting about 1.5 cups of semi-sweet chocolate on a water bath right now, and then we're gonna put everything together after I clean up this mess, because we're gonna need this space to work in. So you can see here that our temperature is almost there, about 5 degrees less, which is perfectly fine, because at this point what I am going to do is shut off my stove, take my candy thermometer out, and add my 2 tablespoons of vanilla, and it's gonna foam up a little bit. Okay. Oh, and I just smelled all that vanilla. Smells so good. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and add the baking soda in here. And once you add your baking soda in it and you start turning it, you're gonna see this action happening. Do you see the mixture has started bubbling up, and it's gonna go over? So at this point, I'm quickly going to go ahead and just put some spray on my granite counter. And if you're using a tray, then you can use that. Just make sure that it's really well greased. Okay, now we're gonna take all this mixture, just drop it onto the counter like this. Now I tried putting this in a mound so that I can get pieces out of it, and it didn't work. It just, you gotta work too fast. So and don't be discouraged if you make it the first time and it doesn't turn out. Don't, because this is the second time that I'm doing it. Okay, so at this point you want to leave the mixture alone for at least about 10 minutes. I'm not gonna touch it right now, but after 10 minutes, when we come back, when I can touch the mixture and it's warm, very warm, but not hot, is when I'm gonna go. That's when we're gonna go and add the chocolate on top of it. So I'll see you back here in about 10 minutes. About 10 minutes, and I have such an issue of leaving things alone, but you really seriously have to leave this alone, because but the way you can do it is you can touch it, yet it's warm, and if you do this, don't do it too hard, you can hear it. So now at this point, now you could not do this step and just wait and then do it in the after you break it, you can dip it in chocolate. But I'm like, why wait when you can get it done right now? So then afterwards, when you break it, you really don't have much going on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cover this, finish up with chocolate, and then let this sit for close to 3 hours. When we come back after 3 hours, we're going to I'm going to show you how we're going to cut this and get it ready to give it out as gifts. So we're back, and you can see that this has set really, really well. And I've also had some mice in the house, you know, my kids, and especially Sumaya has been enjoying it. So here we go. All we're going to do is now just take a knife and just kind of put the tip in, and it's just going to break. See? And you can make as big or as little pieces as you like. You can see how this one has turned out, and I'm also going to show you another one that I did right after I did this one. And I'll show you the difference so you know when you make it and you see the color difference why it would be. Now, some of the recipes said that if you put the chocolate on top the way I did, it's going to separate. And this is why I was saying that I wanted to give it a try, because I had a feeling that it wasn't going to separate, and I'm so glad that it didn't. So you can look here that it's got the honeycomb mixture inside, but it doesn't have as big bubbles in this one, and I don't know why. But just break these and then show you. All right, so now let's put this on the side. I want to show you this one here. Now this one here that I did, I took this one up to 285 degrees. This one here we had done it at 280 degrees. So if you look at the difference, look at the color difference. So if you do the 285, I would say turn it off right away, because it's going to start burning very, very quick. And then this one I decided to do it just in a pan just to see if there was a difference, but really there was no difference. They both taste really, really amazing. So it's just wanted to do a little bit of difference to show you what could happen, that 5 degrees can make so much difference. So these are absolutely amazing, and I'm just going to take a very small piece, and I seriously can eat this the whole day. It's so crunchy, yet it's spongy. It's rich because of the butter, and I think the chocolate on top just did the perfect balance. And this is a bittersweet chocolate or semi-sweet chocolate, so it just did the right amount of sweetness, because the bittersweet is kind of balancing out our bottom. So that's it. It's a very simple recipe. I hope all you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Raihana's Cuisines. Hope you can join me here next time with another great video. See you then, friends.